Okay, so I'm CammyG, and I wanted to compare how effective Steel Wool SYD is compared to Black Knight GARRIDAN. So they're kind of similar heroes in the way that they work around the kinetic overload ability that constructors get. So Steel Wool SYD gives a massive increase to the damage kinetic overload does of 250%, and that reduces down to 50% if he is in support. Now, Black Knight GARRIDAN gives a massive increase to hardware impact if he is your main hero, whereas if he's in support, he gives a smaller increase, but still an increase nonetheless. Now, what I did was I did a 94 deliver the bomb, same mission. Well, it's a different area, but same level husks. There's no different tweaks to it. It was just a normal mission with a mini-boss. So we can compare them really easily side by side. So that's the gameplay you're seeing now. So obviously you'll see Steel Wool SYD and you'll see Black Knight GARRIDAN. On both of them I was using a 130 lead sled. And from actually playing, the feel of it, basically the difference was that Steel Wool SYD would not trigger kinetic overload as often. It wasn't a lot less, mind you. It still happened very often, but when it did happen, it did absolutely insane damage because I also have the team perk that kinetic overload triggers twice when it happens, so obviously you're doing twice the damage. So when he adds 250% to the damage, effectively you're adding 500% to the damage, which is 5 times, which is obviously insane. And then when it came to Black Knight GARRIDAN, you were triggering kinetic overload more often because you had higher impact, but it did a lot less damage. Now, the thing about my build is, with my lead sled, I have it, as well as one of my team perks, I have it as a crit build. Now, when you crit with a hardware weapon, you get a massive impact, which generally just triggers kinetic overload every time you crit, nearly every time. So, the big impact increase that Black Knight GARRIDAN gives wasn't really, necessary to make me trigger kinetic overload all the time. It was happening with either hero about the same amount of times. Slightly more with Black Knight GARRIDAN, but it happened very frequently with both. Now, because when Steel Wool SYD is your main hero, he increases the damage of kinetic overload by so much more. I think it's really easy to see that Steel Wool SYD is the obvious choice out of these two. But, you still want to get Black Knight GARRIDAN out of the store because he goes perfectly in support for Steel Wool SYD. Now, if you're using a hardware weapon that you've built as an impact build and not as a crit build, you might want to go for Black Knight GARRIDAN because, you're going to want to just keep increasing your impact because you're not relying on crits to get the impact. You will be triggering kinetic overload much more often. But if you're like me and you use a crit build, which I think makes more sense anyway because you crit like half of the time nearly, and that almost always triggers kinetic overload, then you want to use Steel Wool SYD as your main hero. But either hero is still very good, but I'm sure you can tell from the gameplay anyway that using Steel Wool SYD just does way more damage, and for me it's just more powerful. Now, they're both really good builds, like I said, but if you're looking for like an OP build, then Steel Wool SYD's the one to go for. So I'll just let you look at a bit more gameplay, I think. But yeah, it was I just wanted to compare them both so that you guys could see for yourselves which one was better. If you were trying to decide which one to use, if you wanted to use kinetic overload, then I'd do all the testing for you. You wouldn't have to waste your time with that, and it'd just give you a good sense of what each hero does. But thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.